You know what else was great? Watching West Virginia beat the hell out of Pitt. What a game. What a moment. What a time to be alive. Hard Edge is seemingly back in Morgantown, West Virginia, and we're all thankful for that are Mountaineers fans. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Mountaineer football team, Rich Rodriquez.
Yeah, baby.
How you doing, Coach?
Boy, you look good, Pat. You look great in that sweater. Good to see my friend B.A. as well. We go way back to our days in Arizona. Brother. Back in Lake Oconee, Georgia. You know, going over to Gabby's, having a cocktail or two, playing a little golf. Yeah, it's great to see you.
You too, brother.
Hold on now. So I know B.A. is a noted club thrower and club drowner, okay, if it has to happen. I couldn't even fathom you on a golf course. Are you what is the spirit or the mood in golf? Do you try to be good? Are you actually good at golf, or are you just out there having a good time with B.A.?
No, I mean, well, I don't know what B.A. He probably lies on his handicap like all the other coaches do. But, I don't know. I mean, I was okay, you know, but I am a little probably if there's a little money at stake, I'll get a little ultra competitive. I've only broke 2 clubs. Just 2, and one of them was an accident. But I hadn't, you know, that's the worst part about, you know, taking a new job, Pat. Hell, I ain't got time to golf, which is ridiculous. I got to make time to golf. So I'll find time if we get to a bowl game or win some games. I'll find some time next summer for sure.
Come on down in February, bro. I'm not giving you any strokes either.
Yeah, okay, see, he's hustling too. He just shot his age twice already this offseason. I mean, he's balling right now on the course, obviously.
He's balling. He is balling for sure.
Well, I appreciate you not golfing and focusing on turning around that program there. Watching along this weekend, the emotional journey that you were on throughout the entirety of it all, I assume was a lot. Afterwards, we saw some tears. We saw some real pride, some real fulfillment, it felt like, out of you. What was that for your team, and how did it feel in that locker room afterwards?
Yeah, you know, Pat, I didn't, you know, it obviously is not scripted, but I didn't realize it until after I watched some clips of it afterwards. I was a lot more emotional than you'd think after 300 some games as a head coach. You know, it all kind of feel the same, but I was a little bit more emotional. And I think it's maybe, you know, it wasn't just because we won. It was our rival and all that, and there were 60-some thousand people, and the game's so important and everything like that. I just think it was a combination of a lot of stuff. It was, you know, being gone for 17 years, you know, seeing what everybody put into this program, people like yourself, how important it was for us to play well and to represent West Virginia the way we need to be represented. And so it was. I mean, they say every game counts as one. This one might be counting a little more than one. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the folks started tailgating last Tuesday, and hell, they haven't left yet. So it's been a wonderful few days. You know, obviously we've turned the page now, and I'm moving on to Kansas on the road this weekend. But for 24 hours, it was a hell of a time.
Yeah, I know you're just trying to get a first down against Kansas. I know that's what you got to think about. And I appreciate you acknowledging how big of a game that was, because I think to everybody that was following along with your journey and our journey as Mountaineers as a whole, and our story and our team and the way everything that has happened, that game was huge. Also being on September 13th, 9/13, you know, it was a massive weekend, and especially for you reinstating who you are and what your team is. I think it was a big weekend, man. Legit.
It should, you know, when we play them again in 3 years, we're going to be a whole lot better football team in 3 years than we are now. So this is the toughest time for us. You know, we got 70-some new players, only have one guy that started any football games, and so, you know, this was good for us to try to get a win, because we got to wait 3 years till we play them when we know we're going to be pretty salty. But it was a physical game too. If you noticed that, Pat, they had an inordinate amount of people that got hurt all the time.
I saw that.
I mean, on some snaps there was 2 or 3 guys that were getting hurt, and I was like amazed at that. And then their training staff must be the best in the country, because they all came back in the game.
I saw that.
So it was phenomenal how fast that medical staff of theirs got them healthy again to get back on the field after all those injuries.
And we will certainly take their information that they have to become a better medical staff everywhere else. I think if they have any secrets to take care of these guys so quickly, we would like them to share that for the good.
I'm like, they got the worst luck in America. There's a guy falling out on every snap. I mean, I've never seen nothing like that. So it was.
Hey, Hard Edge. That's how Hard Edge is back. You know, they can't keep up with it. That's good news.
It was something else.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay. Watching your team, you talk about it being super physical. You had like a super jumbo package. When did this come to mind? How long have you been doing this? I don't think I've seen this in a while.
Yeah, we had like 3,000 pounds of beef going in. We actually did something similar the last couple of years at Jack State, but then I got one lineman at Donovan Haslam. He's two cheeseburgers away from 400, and then another linebacker's a cheeseburger away from 350. I'm like, hell, let's just, BA will tell you this. Football's a game with big people moving other big people against their will. So I'm like, well, the more big people we can have in there, the better we have. So the formation's called heavy, of course, right? Heavy. I could call it just fat. They actually like it. Just our fat package. But that may not be politically correct, but hell, who cares? But we called it heavy to be politically correct. And so we have 9 guys, but I'm trying to get 10 guys. I might have one where if I could find one of those fat guys that could actually carry the ball, I'll have 10 guys in there. So that will be the fat package. And we'll hand it off and block with all fat people.
That'll work.
Yeah, and actually Nico's not slim. He's 225 pounds, so he's on the borderline of a quarterback being like fat. So I say that in a kind way.
Yes, we all know you, and your players all understand at this moment, too, what that is. Anybody that's ever played for you understands exactly what you're saying.
Is that fat spelled P-H-A-T?
Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah, it's powerful. Yeah, fat, super cool, too, to do something new out there, yeah. And if you get a 400-pounder with a ball in his hands, I'll tell you what, college football people will celebrate that. And I hope that heavy package through the holidays might become, Thanksgiving, Christmas, let alone Halloween. Holy shit.
Obese package.
Yeah. There's a lot that we could sell from that, and T-shirts we can make. You can imagine the marketing thing, like, let's get fat, Let's go Mountaineers, let's get fat. And then, let's put it on there.
P-H-A-T, yeah. AJ has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, winning a big overtime game against a rival like that, I guess for some of the younger guys, and a lot of, like you said, so many new players, what does it do for you guys' confidence? I think great teams have to find ways to win. You have to win many different ways. You can't just be front runners. You got to learn what it's like to come from behind or win these close ones. But what can you guys take from that? Can they build a bunch of confidence winning like this?
I think so. That was obviously anytime you win, you're going to get a little bit of confidence. And then when you lose, you maybe lose a little bit of confidence. But I tell everybody, what we have to rely on is what we do every day. The way our practices goes. I tell our guys, we're a little unique in how we practice. And then we had good practices last week. You couldn't tell the difference between last week's practice and the week before's practice. And I think that's got to be who we are every day. We do what we do. We go how we go. And hopefully we can play well enough to win a game and keep playing. And then, typical coach speak that, I tell the guys, I told them before the game, it's going to be a game. Don't look up at the scoreboard. All right, just keep swinging. Keep playing as hard as you can. Then after 60 minutes, you can look up, well, shit, that was wrong. It'd take more than 60 minutes. So I said it takes 60 minutes and overtime, then look up at the scoreboard and see what happens. I think they really did that. They just kept playing hard until the final whistle.
Tell me about Nico. He's obviously big, strong QB, stuck around from last year, which I think we all appreciate. Then also Scotty Fox gets some burn at the beginning of the second half there. I don't think he played the week before. All those decisions, what goes into it, and what are your thoughts on the quarterback room?
Well, and that's the other part, Pat. That's like, most people say, well, you take your quarterback out and put another guy, you're going to destroy his confidence. Well, yeah, maybe he destroyed my confidence too, So I think there's times where our quarterback, people don't realize in practice, this is the way we roll our quarterbacks, and we roll in them out. And I tell them, if you make a mistake or two, we're not going to pull you out just because you make a mistake or two. Sometimes we're just going to try to make a change and make a spark, or maybe it's a certain number of certain plays that this quarterback can do really well. And so Nico understood that. When he was taken out, it was to try to get a little spark with Scotty, but it was also because of a couple different plays we wanted to run. And I wanted Nico and all the other quarterbacks to stay engaged. Well, he did. He didn't go pout and like, gee whiz, He stayed ready. He stayed engaged. And then when it was 6 minutes ago, whatever it was in the game, said, hey, Nico, you're in. It's your time to go get it. He attacked it like the person he is, and it was a great lesson for all of us, for all of our players, to see how engaged he stayed in, made a couple great throws, and like that seam throw right there, and led us to victory.
Yeah, you've been very open, seemingly, about liking the whole quarterback room. Anybody that knows you, though, with how competitive you are, you want somebody in that quarterback room to take that job. You would like somebody to become the guy in that room. I would assume. Not 100% sure, but I would assume that is the case.
Oh, you're 100% right. Somebody to kind of seize it and grab it. And we hadn't really seen that yet, but maybe in the last 6 minutes, Nico is taking that step, which is really neat to see. But I want those other quarterbacks, Pat, to be as competitive. Like, shoot, I'm not done competing with this thing. We got a lot of games, a lot of football left. It's still going to be wide open. So, but at least for one day, Nico took charge. At least for one quarter, Nico took charge, and that's a positive sign.
Yeah, it definitely is. Big time win, a big time moment. I think it was the most people that have been in the stadium in years and years and years. Obviously, the checkered was awesome. The environment looked electrifying. I wish I could have been there. Ollie Straw, your punter, did you see that catch he made?
I didn't. I knew it was a bad snap, and he had made a great catch. But then after I saw a picture of it, it was like that's got to be like a specialist, like poster thing kind of deal going
yes,
on.
Definitely. Especially all football players, not just specialist asshole. Okay, that's 2 points right there. You almost lose Ollie Straw, the Aussie. Yeah, at least.
And he changed the field too. They had good returners, and his location on his punts was next level. So it was, it was really neat. And it was neat about the crowd. I tell everybody there were 60,000. That's what the stadium holds. I think there was actually about 65,000 there because there's like 4,000 in the end zone. But 10 years from now, there'll be 600,000 that say they were there. Which is really
Amen.
That kind of atmosphere.
On that note, BA's got a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, do you think this is going to be the hardest week you have as a coach? I know going back when I was at Temple, we had a big win, and, the guys didn't come down until Thursday. Well, that's too late. We just missed 2 days. And get your guys. I know you probably already had one good practice, and how's practice going the rest of the week? Yeah,
that's a perfect point, BA. It's like yesterday we have 1 day off. It's Mondays for them. So Sunday we had a walkthrough, and I could tell they were still high off the game kind of deal and excited. And we turned the page a little bit. But Tuesday and Wednesday, today's practice, tomorrow's practice is get after it. And so I don't mind yelling anyway, but there's probably a feeling that I'll be into today's practice in their grill a little bit if I need to. It doesn't bother me at all. But so today and tomorrow will be the true test. But you're right, this will be the challenge, and it didn't bother me at all.
I can't wait for you to the patting on your back he can stab you with the whole
pat him on the ass, sit in hand, that kind of deal. Yeah,
that's gonna be one of those days. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Get pissed down my back, tell me it's raining, and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yep. Headlines. Oh, look who's good. Somebody's a good football player. Oh, Nico. Oh, yeah. I cannot. I hope you're mic'd up today. Obviously. Raquel will control what gets out and what does not get out. I think she's doing a great job, by the way. You should tell her that. And I saw Miss Rita celebrating thereafter. I think that was probably a big win for her as well, if I had to guess, for the entire family there.
Yeah, the family was there. And we, the family was here was nice. And I had some buddies of mine that came from Arizona, some buddies of mine from in town, and we smoked we smoked some good cigars till about midnight, and then we all realized, damn, we're hungry. I hadn't ate since 8 a.m. And like, what the hell's open? And so there's an Applebee's like a mile away at 12 o'clock, and thankfully the chef was still there. So we kind of barged in there and ate some Applebee's at 12 o'clock at night, had a grand time.
I'll tell you what, if you have an Applebee's that has a chef.
Okay, a cook maybe? Yeah.
And a bartender, the main thing, brother.
Yeah, bingo, brother. Man, we should be Pitt. We're having a good time out here. Hey, somebody sent me a video from your cigar smoking session. I don't have the number saved, but it looked like it was a great time. You guys were literally, I got a video from it from a number I do not have saved. And I was so happy you were enjoying the moment, though. I want to let you know that.
All as coaches, you try to move on to the next one, but like shit, for 4 or 5 hours after that one, I wasn't thinking about anybody or anything other than my friends and what just happened.
Yeah, let's go to Applebee's here.
Hell yeah.
It's good enough for MCDC. It's good enough for me. Let's go to Hammer. Todd. AP Tone has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Earlier we were talking with BA how he kind of split up the season into quarters. You guys just ended non-conference. You're about to get into your tough conference schedule. So does your thinking, how you're coaching the kids, does that change at all? How do you break up the season now that you're into the conference schedule?
Yeah, for us, it worked out just perfectly with our 3 non-conference games being in the first quarter. I said the first quarter is over. There was some good, some bad, a lot of stuff that we're learning, get better from. And now we have our conference play on the road, and we play a team that's really athletic. It's had an open date, 2 weeks to get ready, and a home opener for them in the conference. So it's going to be a big challenge. So maybe being on a road, I think somebody already said we're like 14-point underdogs or something like that. So we go out there and got something to prove again this weekend.
Oh, I think somebody said we're 2 touchdowns. I think somebody said. Did somebody say it? Somebody said that, yeah, the boys will know that we got no chance this week.
Yeah, got no chance, I hope we can get a first down. I hope that, everybody comes out of the game healthy, that kind of deal.
Be a fun trip out there. Beautiful campus, too. They got a big investment from their boosters.
They have a huge investment. You could tell, $300 million donation or something, and they're putting it back in their athletic program, so it's neat.
Yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to compete out there. Ty actually has a question about that.
Yeah, Coach, on that note, Pete Thamel put out a tweet, I think yesterday, that basically said, hey, West Virginia has they've pledged that they're going to be in the top funding tier of the Big 12. Like, obviously, as a coach, that's a big part of it now is, not only the recruiting but the fundraising. Was there a conversation there where it was just like, hey, listen, we can say whatever we want, but at the end of the day, like, if we can't compete money-wise, then guess what? Like, we're not going to compete for Big 12 championships. And how good does this feel knowing that you have the pledge from the university that's like, you know what, we're going to take care of that aspect?
Yeah, you got to be. As a coach, you want everybody to be aligned in the same thinking. Whether it's your administration, your board, your coaches, your players, and everybody like that. And we're running a business now. Let's be honest. And it's a business, and it's an expensive business. And if you want to compete at the highest level, you got to make an investment financially, and that's why I feel good about our administration. I feel good about our board, is they know that that's what's got to happen. And you're seeing what's happening at Virginia Tech, and they're trying to do the same. They're trying to get everybody aligned the same way. I'm just blessed that we're aligned here, and that we got great support, and we got people like Pat and everybody else that loves this school, that's going to help us compete in this new era that we're going to be in, because we're running a business now, and we've got to have the financial resources to compete at the highest level.
On that note, this logo is beautiful. It goes great on a hat. You can certainly buy any of these hats. They are available everywhere. And the Fat Package shirts, PHAT, will certainly that will certainly be available as well around the holidays. Maybe some Black Friday specials if you would need it. Like you have had that mindset though, and I think it's maybe because you're at Jack State or whatever. Like, hey, we got to drum up. We got to do this. We got to run this as a business. I think you've been very forward thinking in this entire thing. And is that because had to go through a smaller school in this era and keep it all, or why do you think you are that way?
I think just more than anything, Pat, every coach would say, what do I got to do to win? What does it take to win? It used to be, well, you got to recruit at a high level, which obviously you still got to do. You got to evaluate at a high level. Now you better make sure you evaluate the right ones if you're going to pay them a certain amount of money. And you got to be able to have, schemes that can help you win. If you're competitive enough, like, what's the rules? What are the rules that we got to have to follow? And then how do we take advantage of these rules to be as good as we can be? What does it take to win? What does it take to win? It's as simple as that. What does it take to win? And if you don't press that part as a coach, you just say, well, tell me this is all we got and just accept it, then, you're not going to be coaches that think they can outsmart people and win because they're going to be smarter than you are going to be the ones that aren't going to be doing it for long. You better know what the hell you're doing, but you also better have a whole lot of help to get you there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see what you grow out there. Hard Edge is back. Proved it this past weekend. And on that note, with the ever-changing everything, it's a whole new world than it was maybe 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, we're talking about much more of a business now than ever. But more important than anything, we talked about it kind of with the Pittsburgh Steelers and that defense, is the trust and kind of that team building. How do you kind of expedite or speed up that process with all these new players and now, like you said, entering into this conference play now? How do you do that in this era?
Yeah, everybody says, well, nowadays you can't coach the guys as hard as you want to because they're getting paid and they can transfer. I'm like, you can coach them harder because they're getting paid. They got more to lose now if they're not playing or if they're not, maximizing their abilities. And so I tell our guys, sometimes you got to tell them why you're getting on their ass a little bit and all that, where in the past you just tell them that and they'd follow you. But our culture, I told our coaches, and it's still true because we know there's going to be some tough moments in this first year or so. I said, we cannot sacrifice our culture. We can't ever have a guy be lazy and soft and not say something, or a guy not do his best and let it go because we're afraid to hurt his feelings or afraid of whatever financial ramification might be, but he might be leaving, whatever. You got to have the right process and the right culture, no matter who it is. And once they understand that and they're part of it, then they'll be the ones that help you make sure that's held every day. That the new guys, right now they're all new, so everybody's got to learn it. But eventually it'll be just a handful of new guys every year that have to learn the way we do stuff.
Do you have anybody hosting any camaraderie building cookouts at the end of training camp? Any of those types of situations, that maybe the entire city comes to? And, the football team celebrates in a front yard with the entire campus at the end of training camp. Any of that type of stuff happening?
No, hell, when our guys get an hour or two of free time, I realize they like to have their free time. I don't have a lot of long meetings. I don't have a lot of long talks or anything like that. It's like, most of the guys I talk to say, hey, you got a couple hours free time? That's valuable to you. Go have your free time.
Yeah, and maybe have a party, too. Let the boys enjoy it. Don't be setting any couches on fire, though. They're finding kids.
Yeah.
All right.
They're finding you, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like money being taken out of anybody's pockets. Certainly have a good time, but let's also protect the city. Okay, we appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. We will continue digitally on YouTube, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and TikTok Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Goodbye. You see that? Did you see that countdown at the bottom? Oh, good wave. Look at you. You fucking hit a wave.
Wow.
We're still live. We're still live. We're still live. That is a good wave, though. That looked very, very natural there. Yeah.
Presidential wave.
Yeah, just trying to get a first down and nail the fucking wave on the way out of the entire thing. Coach, I was so happy watching the end of that game. There are a lot of moments where I wasn't. And then Ohio, obviously the week before, like what a gut punch to the entire thing. And I think AJ was trying to reference this as well. After you win and you prove that your style can win, players more naturally buy in, I think. Like, I think it's like our hard work paid off. Like, when you see success for all the shit that you're going through, you're more naturally to want to continue to do that, I think. So whenever a game like Ohio happens, and I think they got a great team, Navarro gets hurt against Ohio State, that's a whole different story if he doesn't get hurt. I think they're a good team. But a game like that can be devastating to a build of a culture, I think, from outside looking in, especially with what it was with Neil Brown versus what your culture is. I think it can create or generate a potential, a lot of people going, I'm not doing all this shit. It's not working. After that Pitt game, was there a sense of like justification or fulfillment maybe from the boys from all the hard work? Because I know the shit is not easy compared to anything else that they've done in the past.
I think so, because of just being in the locker room. There's nothing like a winning locker room. You guys all know that, the winning locker room. But the number of guys and players that came up to me and was hugging me and saying, Coach, I just absolutely love it here. I love what we're doing. You know what I mean? That was unprompted. They didn't have to say that. And I told her guys, it's not totally ingrained in the program like it needs to be. I mean, it's getting there, and I got a great staff and everything like that. But it's still a process to get it to where the hard edge, if that's what you want to call it, mentality is ingrained in our guys every day, every minute of every day, no matter the game or whatever it is. And that's the process that we got to go through. One game's not going to change that. But one game sure in hell can make a difference, and I think that's what this game should be able to do for us.
How about you hitting getting after it out there, letting the boys know we got a little wiggle. We got a little wiggle under this West Virginia Southern hick accent in here.
Yeah. We don't dance on TikTok, but in the winning locker room, we'll dance our ass off.
Cheers, Bears, Mountaineers. Congrats. It was great to watch you, and I'm happy you're enjoying the moment while also understanding we got to get a first down against a team that's 2 touchdown favorites against us.
Touchdown. Yep.
2 touchdowns.
At Kansas.
2 tuds.
2 touchdowns. We'll be ready.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the West Virginia Mountaineer football team, Rich Rodriquez.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.